Alrighty, give it some time for people to get in. Give it 30 seconds or so. All right, folks, if you can hear me, let me know. Let me know where you're watching. Let me know what you're seeing out there. If you're currently being impacted by what is now Major Hurricane Helene, working inland here, or not working inland yet, but working towards the coastline of Florida, right here into the Big Bend. Currently, I'm in Perry, Florida. Probably won't stay here for the whole night. But we kind of came to check it out and get a vibe, if you will, or catch the vibe here in Perry, see what's going on, see what people think. And I can tell you, I know right now it's a little misleading because a lot of cars are driving by, but really nobody out on the road. Pretty high law enforcement presence, as you would kind of expect in a situation like this. Unfortunately, the latest trends here in the models have not been great for Perry. I really think we're going to get right into the eye wall into this part of Taylor County. Again, a pretty big time event here unfolding for folks into the Florida Panhandle and Peninsula. All right. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them. I'll try my best to answer them. Tim says he can hear me. Awesome, Tim. Good to hear. Also, like the live stream. Consider sharing it with somebody. Kind of get the word out here. Again, we'll talk for a little bit, answer some questions, and then keep keeping on. Flood warning in the area where Mitch lives, and then watching from Las Vegas. Yeah, Columbia, the Lexington area, that whole, really the Midlands in general, have gotten it rough today. I would argue probably worse than expected originally. We had this big band of precipitation kind of rotate inland, and we had multiple tornado warnings today. In fact, just a moment ago, or probably now 30 minutes ago, we had a cluster of tornado warnings in Georgia. It was pretty big time looking. I mean, those things were... really impressive on radar. So yeah, unfortunately, and again, that's a good point too, because this is not just a Florida problem, this storm. Again, seeing impacts well inland into portions of the southeast through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. In fact, the National Weather Service in Spartanburg has issued a kind of special public announcement just mentioning that this will be a once-in-a-lifetime flood, maybe once-in-multiple-lifetime flood for portions of western North Carolina, kind of comparing it there to the flood of 1916. So anyone familiar with kind of the weather history there in western North Carolina is going to be familiar with that. And we're already seeing big-time flooding into the Biltmore area of the Asheville area. So a lot of flash flood warnings, and this is just the beginning. Again, the storm's still in the Gulf of Mexico, and will eventually start working inland. So talking a little bit more about Perry here, we are finally beginning to see the outer kind of bands of Helene working on through. Rain just started picking up again in this part of the area. And we had this big dry slot. So this morning we got it pretty good. Then we had a while of some dry now actually kind of seeing the storm itself and less of kind of that prefrontal stuff. Now this is actually kind of Helene beginning to work on in and again bring these impacts. Mitch Williams says that the weather is nice and boring out there in Vegas. So
appreciate you, William, and I appreciate you always supporting. You've been a loyal supporter for a very long time, especially from somewhere that there's not a whole lot to talk about. So I really appreciate you, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, being a weather nerd in Vegas has to be tough because there's only so much that happens out that way. So awesome. So yeah, if y'all have any questions, drop them below. We'll try to answer some questions here, get some more information out, and kind of get that word out. Yeah, Georgia definitely is getting hard, and this is, again, only the beginning of it. The storm hasn't even made landfall yet, so the worst of it's going to be overnight through much of the state of Georgia, and then, probably improving throughout the afternoon tomorrow. I will mention here in Perry, we have plenty of businesses that have boarded up, which is obviously probably the smart thing to do. have really helped to kind of take those precautions ahead of time, which you would hope to see. So I definitely think the good news is the word got out here into this part of the state that a big time storm was on the way. And on the way down here, we were at a gas station. We talked to multiple people who do plan on riding it out, but they were stopping. They were getting gas for generators. They had plenty of water and were far enough inland that it wasn't really a threat of the surge. So again, everyone preparing. We also saw people evacuating. We were at a gas station and saw a family kind of loading up a truck and getting on out of this part of the state to start heading north towards the Georgia state line. So again, just a big time storm, and this is easily the storm of the year. I got a lot of flack earlier this week with some thumbnails calling this a generational storm and storm of the year. Well, again, the National Weather Service is forecasting flood greater than anything we've seen in more than 100 years in portions of North Carolina and western upstate of South Carolina. And then obviously, the storm, now a major hurricane, potentially maybe getting to Category 4 status, is still on the table. Could move into, again, the Perry area here with those winds. Mitch is going to need them energy drinks after 8 p.m. Well, I'll tell you, Chris, me and Mitch both, because we both got up at about 4 a.m. this morning, and we're not going to sleep probably until tomorrow. So we might cross the 24-hour mark without any sleep, which is, gonna bring some problems. So lots of, sorry, there's somebody honking a horn right now. Energy drinks definitely going to be handy. A cup of coffee, energy drinks, and luckily we can kind of alternate if we need to on the driving. So we can, kind of crash for an hour or two, get whatever sleep we can in there. Late to the live stream, but I'm still wondering if it's shifting east. Sorry if I already answered. No, man, we haven't answered that question yet. And yeah, there's been a lot of chatter on the social media waves, we'll say, about the exact track of the storm. The latest model guidance has pulled it east, which if you've been watching my videos, if you're one of my normal viewers, I was talking about that for a while. I said this would probably make landfall at or east of Tallahassee. And I think that's kind of, what it's looking like right now. I think the eye could still go over Tallahassee, right over that area, but I think probably just a little east of there, again, closer towards the Perry area, Florida, very likely to see the center of the storm go right over it. Hey, Bonnie, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we're staying safe. Again, the worst of it's still a good bit away, and I can tell you, it is muggy out here. The bugs are all over the place. This is some of the muggiest air I've felt so far this summer, outside of maybe some air I felt in Myrtle Beach, which was equally as uncomfortable, but it feels like hurricane out here for sure. And again, those outer bands beginning to kind of work on in, so seeing some of those impacts beginning to increase into the region. And I should mention, storm surge is already increasing at the coast from kind of Alligator Point back towards and through the Big Bend. Had some storm surge through the Tampa Bay area this morning, and again, a lot of Florida getting in on impacts here. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, Bonnie. Yeah, just a lot of be safe comments. Yeah, don't worry, we're gonna play it safe. Luckily for me, Mitch was here. Give me 1 second. Mitch was here for Idalia whenever that moved through, and this is a very similar storm to Idalia. I think this one could be a little stronger, but impacts similar, at least right into this region. So Mitch is kind of a pro at chasing this part of Florida. Why that is, why storms call Mitch to this part of the world, I don't know. But luckily, I'm working with the best here to try to positioned in a good place. And again, I think we're probably going to move up towards the I-10 corridor for actual landfall. Mitch has learned the hard way before that these pine trees like to come down in this part of Taylor County, and we're gonna try to follow this thing back inland. So we'll probably start relatively deep inland. Just for fun, what are y'all's predicted wind speed and pressure at landfall? Mitch, you want to give a crack at that?
I don't know pressure. Probably the 940s at least.
Mitch says 940s.
I'm thinking 940s, and I'm still gonna stick with my my 100. That's some nice squeaking. I'm still gonna stick with my 130 mile per hour prediction, which would make it a low end cat for it, but it could be 135.
All right, that's what Mitch has. I'm gonna say low 940s. We could crack the 930s, just given what I'm seeing currently. A lot of lightning firing up in that eye wall right now. This thing, it's kind of hitting that final overdrive gear towards landfall and intensity. So it kind of mellowed out early this morning into the afternoon, and unfortunately it's hitting again that next boost at kind of a tough time because it's moving inland, and strengthening storms as they're moving inland hurt a lot more than weakening storms. So again, I'm going to say probably in the upper 930s, lower 940s. Wind, I agree with Mitch. I think we're going to be right at low in Category 4. Could still be Category 3, but again, impacts either way. Where is it? The storm is in the Gulf of Mexico, just south of Tallahassee, kind of west of Tampa. So, wherever that is, latitude and longitude-wise, I'm not sure the exact numbers, but you can go to nhc.gov and you can see the exact latitudinal position of it. Yes, Samuel, I am with Mitch. We're tag teaming the storm. So, trying to, luckily, this is the first time I've really chased with another person for like a big time event. And it's been great so far. It's been nice to have the company, somebody else. Me and Mitch have been trying to crack jokes and keep the mood light, even in a pretty, not so light scenario. So yeah, it's been fun, but yeah, with Mitch, we're tag teaming this one. How is Blakely or Hilton, Georgia going to look? You know where that is in Georgia, Mitch? Hilton, Georgia, Blakely, Georgia. Yeah, so I'm not sure what part of Georgia that's in. If it's in southern Georgia, probably hurricane force winds and some flooding. If it's in northern Georgia, tropical storm force winds and some flooding. So either way, impacts for sure. Bonnie has a sister in the Big Bend. Well, give her a call, Bonnie. Just make sure she knows what's going on and is kind of up to date with everything here. You're welcome, Mandy. A lot of people saying hey to Mitch. Yeah, hello, Mitch. We love Mitch. I'll point the camera at Mitch.
I love y'all so much. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, so.
Hey, Gerald does a much better job of answering you guys' questions, so props to Gerald.
I don't know about that. Well, to be fair, none of you would probably be here if it wasn't for Mitch. So,
no. Gerald's the man. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you go live and read all the comments. I'm not that great at that. I can't multitask well. So.
Still holding its slight track east of Tallahassee. You planning to hunker down in Perry? Scott, we probably not. We're just here kind of for the beginning of it to kind of document some of what's happening in the city. We're going to probably get out of here when things go downhill, just so it's easier to get out of the state of Florida when all is said and done. So, yeah, nice and quiet, calm before the storm. Yeah, it's almost an eerie feeling. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of, again, this is my first hurricane I've chased, and if there's one to do it first with, this is one of them. So yeah, quite a eerie feeling here in a lot of these communities. Gusts are getting stronger here in Tampa. Yeah, the storm is strengthening. The storm is, kind of right along the coast there to Tampa. So you would definitely expect some of those stronger wind gusts to start working on through for sure. Watching from Southwest Georgia, welcome Bethany. Appreciate you joining. Again, if you haven't already liked the live, go ahead, hit the like button and comment, ask some questions. Let us know where you're watching from and what you're seeing. Got a little more than 100 people in here right now, so pretty good. Pretty good stuff. And the feed should be a lot better than this morning's live. I know I didn't plan this one ahead of time. I kind of just started it, but again, we're working with limited resources, so we're going to make this work however we can. And I'll add, if we can keep cell service, which I'm not super positive that's going to happen, but if we can, we'll try to go live in the storm itself and give you live on the ground impacts. Badger, we are in Perry, Florida right now. We are in Taylor County, city of Perry. Montgomery getting lots of rain. Yeah, Montgomery, you're kind of on that fine line on the west side of the storm where, if you go much further west, you're not going to see a lot of rain. But Montgomery, yeah, seeing a lot of rain. That's a good report. Thank you. Anything going on in Cape Coral? Probably some rain and wind, but not nearly as bad as what they're going to see in the Panhandle and the Big Bend. Specifically, really, the Big Bend. I mean, it depends on your definition of the Panhandle. I watched one of Mitch's videos earlier this week, and he talked about that. So depending. Sorry, there's a gnat in my face, by the way, if I'm smacking the air like this. If you're on the far western tip of the Panhandle, the storm really isn't going to be all that bad, all things considered. But if you get to the central and especially the eastern Panhandle and into the Big Bend, things go downhill pretty significantly. What do you expect for Valdosta, Georgia? A lot of wind, Valdosta. We're watching that. I wouldn't be surprised to see hurricane force winds into Valdosta, depending on exact track. Wind gusts. I mean, honestly, Valdosta, you can get gusts above 100 miles an hour. I would not be surprised if you get into that eye wall, for sure. So, yeah, good question. A lot of people watching from Valdosta. We drove through Valdosta on the way here, and Mitch the entire time was saying he couldn't remember how to say Valdosta. So you want to try?
Valdosta.
Valdosta.
think if you're tuning in from that area or anywhere around that area, I really think you guys are going to get hit hard. I know Idalia went through that area and you guys got hit very hard, but I would go on and prepare for a very similar situation, except maybe a little worse. I mean, if we end up being wrong, we're wrong. You know, that's a good thing. But I'm telling you, this thing is going to be moving faster in Idalia, and it's not going to have a whole lot of time the weekend. So I really think there's a possibility you'll have an all-out Category 2 hurricane going right through Valdosta and really anywhere in South Georgia. So, I mean, just please be prepared if you live in all the inland areas of South Georgia. Seriously.
So great points there from Mitch. And just to show y'all, sky's getting dark here in Perry. This is looking, I believe that way is the ocean, right, Mitch? That way? Yeah, general direction, yeah. So that's looking towards the Gulf of Mexico. And maybe if you're not looking straight at a tree, that'll help. But yeah, you're noticing these darker clouds moving in, and it's still not very windy at all right now. But we do expect those winds again to pick up through the evening. So, do we think it'll reach Cat 4 before landfall? Watching from Frederick, Maryland. Well, thank you for tuning in, George. We appreciate it. Again, me and Mitch are kind of both in the same thought process. Probably weak Cat 4, strong Cat 3. So yeah, definitely could hit Category 4. It's possible. CJ watching from the rainy Midlands of South Carolina. Yes, CJ, you're probably getting more rain than I expected even for you. I know Mitch said at his house he's picked up 3 to 4 inches of rain so far today. So a lot more rain in that region than maybe some folks thought. Again, a couple questions. Where are we for people just joining in? We're in Perry, Florida, Taylor County, city of Perry, where everyone is basically gone. So, which is a good thing. Do you know how bad it might be in Sarasota? Mitch, remind me, where's Sarasota? I know it's in Florida. Is that
Southwest Florida?
Southwest Florida, yeah. So Sarasota, I think down there, kind of near the Fort Myers area.
It's just south of Tampa.
Oh, just south of Tampa. Okay, so you're probably in like the worst of it now, Sarasota. It might continue through the overnight, but the storm pulling away from you now. So good news for you there.
Tornado threat. There's a big cell.
That is a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. There's actually a big storm about to roll through Sarasota right now that could actually get tornado warned. It might be weakening. But yeah, you guys are going to continue to experience some pretty intense outer bands for sure.
Yeah, so that's why we bring Mitch along, because that's about to lie to your face. And so yeah, continued tornado threat, but still, either way, the storm is pulling away from you technically. But again, still impacts on that backside. So watching out for that. Mississippi here, stay safe, y'all. We appreciate it. We will. Just in Mayo last week. Okay, well, awesome. Scott watching from Southwest Chicago. Yeah, well, it's good to know, Scott, for sure. Should go to Lake Telquin. Should see storm surge on the north side. Oh, what's that, Mitch? Lake Telquin. Telquin, Telquin, maybe. Also, I've been pronouncing Florida names like an idiot for the entire week, so go ahead and expect that. Mitch is going to pull that up on his map. What about Jacksonville? Jacksonville, tropical storm force winds and a tornado threat through the night tonight, and maybe even lingering into tomorrow morning. St. George Island is going to get nailed. Love that place. Potentially, again, I'll be honest, I'm not super familiar with the area, so St. George Island, it's possible. Thankfully, we got that front that's helping keep it away from us. Yeah, the upper level low is definitely steering it away from places more into the central Gulf Coast, which is good news for sure. Sorry, there's some cars driving on by. Yeah, Indian Pass is getting a lot of surge, Valerie, for sure. That's a place that's gonna get it. Worse than Idalia? Well, the thing is, with every storm, it depends exactly where you're at. So for some folks, this will be worse than Idalia. For other folks, maybe not. It depends, again, exactly where you are. But I do think strength-wise, this will be stronger than Idalia at landfall. So, yeah, good question, Jessica. Prayers for all in the path? Yep, absolutely. Praying for everybody. Boat Dude said Mitch needs to speak up. So, I don't know, Mitch.
Speak up.
Yeah. Spoke up?
I'm spoken up, guys. I'm sorry.
He spoke up.
I'm sorry, guys. Hey, how y'all doing? I love you all. Appreciate y'all. Here to answer questions. This is his live feed, though, so don't want to take the line.
Oh, Mitch could never. How bad might it be in Florida? Again, Lucas, depends where you are in Florida. So the entire state's getting impacts, though. Augusta, Georgia impacts. Augusta, big time wind, I think. We drove through Augusta this morning, which there were already cars sliding off the road from rain. So also, we got a $2 super chat. So let me find who that was, and we will thank them in just a moment. There's a lot of questions here, though. So again, folks, I'm trying to get through these relatively quickly. So yeah, Augusta, Georgia, big time wind, tornado threat, heavy rainfall. You're going to get all of it starting really now through tomorrow. Hopped over here after somebody at the Ryan Hall y'all live stream mentioned Mitch West in the comments. Fun to know there's a storm chaser in my local area. Well, awesome. Thank you to whoever left that comment and told y'all to come on over and check us out. So
Appreciate y'all.
That's awesome. Is Cat 5 completely ruled out? You never say never in the Gulf of Mexico when you still have, 5 or 6 hours over the ocean, but I really think Cat 4 is going to be probably a way more likely scenario than Cat 5. How bad in Southwest Georgia? Yeah, hurricane force winds potential there. Again, it depends how far into Southwest Georgia you are, Bethany. But overall, rough conditions. It's pretty bad in Columbia right now. Road closures due to flooding. Yeah, we saw some pictures out of Columbia and some video. It's pretty rough up that way. Even had some tornadoes earlier. Watching from Aiken, South Carolina. Awesome. Lucas, yeah, I feel the wind. Yep, definitely, Lucas. It's windy. I can guarantee you that. Sorry, I know, what a great answer that is. Mitch is laughing over in the corner.
Very windy, my boy.
It is windy. Can confirm. Sorry, if I answer a question like that, generally I read the question and then my brain starts thinking about something else, so that's my fault. So sorry, Lucas. But yeah, no, absolutely, Lucas, it is windy. Will the wind still be bad when it gets to Atlanta? This is a wonderful question because Atlanta, you've gotten a lot of hype from some people, and rightfully so, but I tell you, if that track just goes to the east of the city, it's going to be way worse in the Athens area than the Atlanta area. So it's going to be so important at what angle does this thing move inland. It's very important for the Atlanta metro. If you're back towards the Peachtree City side of Atlanta, Georgia, kind of into the western suburbs, I think less so. If you're in the eastern suburbs, more likely to see those rough impacts. Is there any weather coming to Brandon, Florida? Well, there's always weather going everywhere, so I don't know exactly where Brandon, Florida is, but basically the entire state's getting impacts, Samuel, so I would assume yes. Of course, Bonnie, we appreciate you coming out and listening.
Says Brandon, Florida should be just getting outer bands. If you're talking about the area outside of Tampa, if you're talking about another area, definitely let us know. But
yeah,
just some outer bands, tornado risk.
Mm-hmm. Said that lake was east of Tallahassee, the Telquin one. So I don't know. That'd be a good idea though, for sure, if we can find it. Stay safe again, everyone. We are going to be safe. You ain't got to worry about us. We are professionals, kind of, sometimes. Is Charlotte in the red zone? Well, we're not within the 20-yard line in Charlotte, so probably not in the red zone. Funny, right? Funny guy.
Carolina Panthers getting better and better. Man.
Hey, Panthers better and better, although I'm not a Panthers fan personally. So, but Charlotte, though, in all seriousness, yeah, Mandy, some rough winds, definitely. Again, the further east the storm goes, the rougher the conditions in Charlotte. That's where I go to school, and class just got canceled for the rest of tonight, which whoop-de-doo, because one of them was mandatory, and obviously I'm in Florida, so that worked out beautifully, but that was in my forecast, so trust me, no luck required. Hey, Danny, thanks for tuning in. Mitch has his report location on, but not me. Yeah, well, we're together the entire time, so, I mean, you click on Mitch, just assume it's Gerald as well. Then we might switch out. It kind of takes a little bit of battery to do that, so at least if you leave it on the entire time. But if we're not moving, then I'll pop it on. And well, evidently he does. Yeah, William, I agree, William. 124 watchers, only 23 likes. Come on, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so, by the way, we just read a news article about a tractor trailer that caught fire, and apparently, by the way, it was pouring rain in Augusta this morning, and me and Mitch are leaving Columbia, and we see this massive plume of smoke. By the way, we had just left the house like 30, 45 minutes earlier, so right at the start of the day, a tractor trailer and like the back contents of it, like hay bales or something, lit up in flames on the side of the interstate. So it's already been an interesting day for sure. Are you two related? No, we are not related. We are just buds. Mitch is my brother from another mother, as they might say. Go Gamecocks from Justin Bryant.
Absolutely.
All right, well, I'll let that be y'all's problem.
Don't let Gerald lie to you. He's a Gamecock fan.
Gerald's a Charlotte 49er fan is what he is, okay? Not that probably most of you even know what a Charlotte 49er is, given the track record we've had recently. If you run into Jim Cantor, you know that's ground zero. Yeah, I think Jim is in Tallahassee, actually. So, but yeah, we probably won't go that far. We'll see. And thank you, Dana. Again, Dana was the one who gave the $2 donation there. So that means a lot, Dana. We appreciate it. Yeah, it was Austin the one who sent you that, Mitch? The vehicle fire? Did Austin send that to you, Austin Gregory? He said, just sent Mitch an update on Twitter.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Man, that was wild. I think we had just passed it where it was catching trees on fire, but that was insane. Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite the start to the day. Daryl K Tube TV said hey, or said hello to be exact.
What's going on up there, real okay?
Can we launch some fireworks into it like in Twister? We're going to try to avoid making law enforcement hate us any more than they probably already do. So maybe a tornado, probably not a hurricane. Funnily enough, actually, to get nerded out with you a little bit, if you were to shoot off a firework into a tornado, it could actually disrupt it, technically, through the Clausius-Clapeyron equation, through atmospheric thermodynamics. Again, there we go. There's that tuition paying off, everybody. So, yeah. Water spout over Lake Murray. Okay, that sounds realistic. Sounds like something that happened. So thank you for that report. Yeah, it was pine straw that caught on fire, so. Do we have a drone? We do have a drone, but it's not going to do us much good in major hurricane force wind. So I can tell you, sometimes it can't handle tropical storm force wind, let alone hurricane force. So, alrighty, folks. Well, that was a lot of questions. Again, this went about 30 minutes, so pretty productive. We'll do it again later. Probably not until we're actually in the conditions of things. It's 4 p.m. now, so we're getting closer by the minute. But again, I appreciate y'all. We again appreciate you joining in. One last question I'll answer here. What about way inland in West Virginia? The very bottom, heavy rain down there into West Virginia. It's already raining. Will continue to rain. All right, y'all. Again, have a good one, and we will see you again later tonight.